first impression, as you can appreciate, is absolutely paramount. There's a bit of creaking psychology that goes back to the 1960s. Ferris and Morabian did some research into how people form impressions, and I'm sure you're familiar with this. They would say that we form the impression 55% from the visual, 38% from how you sound, and that would have the rather fancy label of the paralinguistic element. So it's the rhythm of speech, the tone, the volume, the pace, how it sounds. And then, of course, only 7% is devoted to the content of what you're saying, which is rather worrying, I think. Aristotle was fascinated by the whole subject of persuasion. And he said that you could only ever find somebody persuasive if you trusted them. And this links very nicely with what Adrian was just saying. You had to trust them first. And so he didn't devote his attention to persuasion. He devoted his attention to what made somebody trustworthy. And he said it was a combination of 3 elements. First of all, you had to appear sincere. Then you had to have passion. You wouldn't find somebody trustworthy unless they were passionate about what they believed in. And then, of course, it depended on what he termed logos, meaning the words and the facts that they employed to articulate their argument. And it's fascinating, really, how those 3, sincerity, passion, and logos, fit so closely with visual, vocal, and content. You know, the 2 marry up so completely that you think, my God, Aristotle got here 2,000 years before the psychologists in 1960. The simplest device that you can use to persuade somebody else is raw enthusiasm. Okay? If you can speak in an enthusiastic manner about your proposal, your hobby horse, whatever it might be, you know, you're very likely to get recruits simply on the enthusiasm alone. The next thing that you could do, of course, and this is something that's ruthlessly exploited by politicians and the advertising industry, is to simply keep repeating the same message. And of course, the more often we hear something, the more likely we are to believe in it. It's repetition of a message which actually is making it highly persuasive. The physical persuasion trigger is in fact remarkably powerful. So if you can put forward an argument where you can show your audience how they are going to be, I don't know, engage less effort, less stress, they can sleep more easily tonight, then in a way you're using a physical persuasion trigger, which is going to make your proposal more attractive. I always find it terribly disappointing when somebody finishes their presentation by saying, I hope you've all agreed with my suggestion. And you think, oh God, this is becoming very flabby at the end and very soft, when really you want a bit of a punch. You want it to finish with, I need your support, I expect your support, I want your support. And you actually tighten it and make the words mean what you want them to mean.